Hello everyone, welcome to Joe Consume Cinema. I'm your host, Plebeian, and today we have Rome, Season 1, Episode 7. So just a quick recap of the previous episode. So the big story is Caesar is aggressively pursuing Pompey, wants a fight. Um, Pompey has retreated across the sea, and he's gathered more forces with him. I believe it said 13 legions he has at the moment, compared to Caesar's like three or whatever it was. So even though Caesar was pursuing him, the tables have kind of turned a little bit, and now Pompey is pursuing Caesar. So he called for reinforcements. The 13th Legion. Our boys Titus and Varenus are were last spotted at sea. There was a big storm, and then cliffhanger kind of ending. We're gonna have to wait and see what happens. Maybe they crash landed, something like that. Not good, but they've been through worse and survived, so I think they'll be okay. The interesting thing about last episode really is this emerging storyline that the women, I think, are more of a threat than the men, even though the primary story is definitely, Pompey versus Caesar at this point. But Attia and Sevilla are really making moves behind the scenes, and they're potentially very, very dangerous. Now, up until this point, Attia has kind of gotten away with all of her schemes, but Sevilla is now onto her game and is now making moves of her own, and she seems very capable and intelligent, and also can match Atia in terms of anger, I guess. Bloodthirstiness might be a better way to say it, but yeah, I think that's going to be an interesting story going forward, and I like that about the show. It's kind of the B side of the show, but it's still interesting. I do like the story. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got. So as always, remember to blank, blank, and blank. Just trying to grow. Any help you can give me there is always much appreciated. A like, a comment, even a subscribe if you're bold enough. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's just get right into the episode. Hmm. Little sandbar out in the middle of the ocean. Things are not going well.
Perhaps if we retreat to the coast via Thessaly, we could hold out until the rains come.
If we go eastward, they'll be able to cut us off here.
Of course.
No, Caesar's defeat is a glory. We cannot endure tyrants, but I cannot celebrate it. He was as my father to me.
We have him down, but he's not dead yet, eh? When do we strike the final blow?
There will not be one. If we simply keep him bottled up a month or so more, the remains of his army will disintegrate and disappear. No cost to us.
Is that honorable? Caesar has driven us from Rome, chased us out of Italy, killed our friends, usurped our republic. Surely dignity and honor demands we walk in his blood.
Certainly need he.
But you would have hunger do our work for us. We must attack Caesar and kill him under the eyes of Mars.
Caesar is now surrounded and severely outnumbered. The forces of the Republic and Senate under Pompey Magnus confidently expect a decisive victory to follow shortly.
Octavia, it is over. That is why you must go to Sevilla's house. It's a bore, I know. There we are.
So our boys are presumed dead. Not sure how they're gonna get off of this, but something has to come along.
Graces, don't we look lovely?
If I'm to be a beggar, I will not look like one.
Oh, I'm not objecting, my honey, though you will remind Sevilla of what an old trout she's become.
Yeah, Octavia, continuously going back to Sevilla is not going to work out. She's going to be manipulated into giving up info on her mother.
She asks you to lend her some men to protect our door in your name.
Of course.
Forgive me. You are so good to us. We do not deserve it.
The decisive battle begins today.
Has every advantage on paper, so you would think it would make sense to attack, but there's something missing. Guessing Caesar anticipated this.
Accept battle.
Certainly, why not?
We are outnumbered 3 to 1.
What?
uninjured men we have are scared and hungry and desperate.
That is the advantage we must press home. We must win or die. Pompey's men have other options.
Interesting take. Chaotic and blurry battle. He won.
Send to Rome. Tell them Caesar has won.
Sir, Caesar's men are coming.
Cut my hand.
We have to go, sir. They'll catch you.
It's not deep, but it hurts.
They will kill you.
It's of no consequence.
We must leave Greece and look to fresh levies.
I may want to ask where.
Africa. We must rally the cities of Africa.
Africa. Dear gods, we're fast running out of continents.
And coin. We have taxed every last coin from Greece and spent it all. What shall we use to buy Africa's loyalty? I will go from here and surrender myself to Caesar.
Have you no dignity? No honor?
Some little, I hope.
If I had known what an old fool is Pompey, I would never have left Rome.
Forgive my anger. I'm not myself.
Think nothing of it. I merit your disappointment.
Perhaps it's better we do not travel together.
How quickly it all fell apart, and all the Senate turned its back on him. Through one defeat.
Look at that. What? A corpse. See how high it rides in the water? The plutonic ether inflates it.
What of it?
Gonna use the corpses to make a ship? A little raft or something? He said something about, makes it float. Wow. They're literally, literally gonna raft out of here on corpses. It's kind of sick.
Husband, wake up! Our people are leaving.
Abandoning them.
I have many men and supplies and ample coin in Amphipoli. You will be paid there.
None with you now? Going?
None!
Look, Mama! There are people!
Oh my god. He keeps stumbling into things.
Where do you come from? Brindisi. Romans.
Shit.
I know you. Where do I know you from? Eat, drink, get your strength back. You and me will be good friends.
Interesting predicament.
That man looks exactly like Pompey Magnus. That's why I thought I'd met him. Don't point. Caesar's gonna drown us in gold. Thank you.
Too weak to do anything right now.
What do we do? I don't know yet.
Caesar has won. And Pompey's armies are completely destroyed.
And my son?
No word.
Don't cry.
I don't think Sevilla planned this part of it, but she's definitely going to use it to her advantage. Maybe Octavia is a, willing spy.
Brutus! Cicero! How happy I am to see you. I thought you were dead. We've merely quarreled a little. Now we are friends again, eh? That is most generous of you. And natural to your manly nature, but I cannot, my poor boy.
I'm sorry. I am so sorry.
It is I am sorry. I presented you with an impossible dilemma.
Too quick to forgive.
But what of Pompey? Tell me he lives.
He lives.
Thank the gods. Where is he? He does not plan to surrender.
That is insane.
Yeah, not so quick to forgive them among the men.
I was going to let you in anyway.
What's he talking about?
You boys are clever fellows, I bet. Know how to fight. Me and my boys can't take his people alone. Us and you together, no problem. We go down middle on the reward.
Not a bad idea.
You can have the wife and children. I take the slaves.
Walk away. And do not speak of this again.
I see. Think you don't need me? Think you can keep the reward for yourself? Fuck you. Not going to happen.
Don't.
Fuck you.
Knew that was gonna happen.
What is your name?
Lucius Varenus, prefect and evocati of the 13th Legion of Gaius Julius Caesar, Titus Pullo, legionary of same.
Salve, Lucius Varenus. I'm just a merchant.
We know who you are, sir.
How did you come to this road? Surely Pompey had Caesar at greater disadvantage.
He did. He did. Didn't seem possible to lose. It's always a bad sign.
The
Interesting.
battlefield was on a plain, by a river, at the foot of some low hills, like this, you see. The lines met here. My men held their ground well, so I sent my horses at his right flank, which is perfectly correct, you'd agree?
I do.
Only the cowards were repulsed by a single cohort of reserves, turned and fled, 200 horses, crashed directly into my left flank. Rolled up my line like a carpet. Put the whole damned army to flight. And here I am. That's how Pompey Magnus was defeated. It's how the Republic died.
I'm glad they put this scene in. So I needed to know. Renus feels conflicted. He respects him.
I will not ask favor or mercy for myself, but I beg you, consider the fate of my wife and children. Let me take them to Egypt while they will be safe.
I don't think Varenus even wants to be in this position. And Caesar's so forgiving, I doubt there's any real danger to Pompey's family, honestly. Or Pompey, for that matter.
Why? We had him. We had him. Horses. Never mind horses. Never mind gold. Caesar would have given us farms and fields and orchards and great flocks of slaves and cattle and this knows what.
Desist! Pompey Magnus is no damn slave to be sold for money.
Varenus couldn't do it. He respects him too much.
You're being kept alive for some great purpose, no doubt.
Ah, well, you know, sir.
Don't talk, dude.
He encountered Gnaeus Pompey Magnus with his family and a party of servants.
Where?
On the road to Amphipoli, with a mule train.
A mule train. Priceless.
He intends to take ship for Egypt, sir.
Family and servants, you say? No soldiers?
None, sir.
Not one man left, not one. Oh, poor wretch.
Why then, be that so, did you not apprehend him?
Now here's the onion.
I thought it would be wrong to do so.
Explain yourself.
His hands trembled, sir. His clothes were dirty, there was water in his eyes, he is broken. I saw no need to apprehend him. I'd like to add that Legionary Pullo took no part in my decision, sir.
Do you not see that Pompey may be broken like a Dacian catamite and still be dangerous?
If he is still living, he will be a standard around which our enemies will gather. As long as he can be propped on a horse, he's dangerous. But you saw no need to apprehend him.
I did not, sir.
Who but a sons of this gives you the right to make such judgment?
Sir, I am aware that I have not done my duty, and I respectfully ask your pardon.
I ought to have you scourged and crucified. In future, you will remember that it is I that offers mercy, no one else.
He let Pompey go and you let him live? The man should be made an example of.
Any other man, certainly. But those two, they found my stolen standard. Now they survive a wreck that drowned an army and find Pompey Magnus on a beach. They have powerful gods on their side. And I will not kill any man with friends of that sort.
Superstition.
Centurion Septimius as was. I was with you in Spain, 4th Legion, 3rd Cohort.
Lucius Septimius, of course. Onward, friend.
Oh my god. Jeez. I didn't see that coming.
Sorry, sir.
God damn. Okay, took some time to gather my thoughts. Best episode of the season so far. I feel like I keep saying that, because each episode has just been great, but best episode of the season so far. So it starts out with, you know, our boys Varenus and Titus again. They're trapped on this island. They survive the shipwreck, and then they cleverly put together a raft made of mostly dead bodies and paddle their way to, you know, back to land. And that was just great. I wasn't expecting that at all. But yeah, and then they get picked up by Pompey as he's fled from the battle after, you know, walking into a bear trap. I really like that scene between Pompey and Varenus there, because you can tell there's mutual respect, and also I like the fact that he actually explained what happened in the fight, because the actual battle scene was very blurry. You couldn't really tell who was who, very short, and yeah, a little bit disappointing. I was actually expecting a real fight, but still, I like the fact that they at least put in that scene between the two of them, because we got an explanation for what happened. He had a numbers advantage, but they were mercenaries for the most part, and their loyalty was very flimsy. He sent a cavalry charge into Caesar's right flank, and it got turned back by literally one counterattack, and they completely fled, you know, crashing into Pompey's men. And as that happened, the counterattack literally just rolled up his line, and everything fell apart at that point. But I'm glad they put that in, because 3-1 advantage. Caesar's men were badly beaten up and tired and exhausted, and they won the fight. And he's just like, well, we don't have any choice but to win. Pompey's men do. So that was kind of an interesting take. But also, I just think the general consensus is that the men that follow Caesar really believe in him and are very disciplined and skilled and experienced veterans, and the men that Pompey had, not so much of either of those categories, and were literally just fighting for the money. So when things started to turn, they all just, gave up and said, I'd rather be alive at this point. So yeah, that was interesting, and I'm glad they put that scene in there. But you can just tell that Varenus respected him and decided, I'm not going to do this. I'm not selling him as a slave, as he put it. He's worth more than that. I also like that scene between Varenus and Caesar, because you can tell he stands on principle, Varenus, and even he kind of tried to shield Titus from it. He said, it's my decision alone, sir. I alone should bear the punishment. Superstition kind of saved the day again for these two, because there are POV characters, right? So we can't lose them, at least not until way later on, but it's interesting how Superstition just saved them again, because they just have this perfect sense of timing. Like he said, they found the standard, they found the gold train, they found, stumbled onto Pompey after 5,000 men on those ships died, except for literally them and like 18 total out of the 5,000. It kind of makes sense that they think these two are destined for something a lot bigger, and we best not interfere with that. So it's just funny how that keeps pulling them out of the fire. But I like it. I'm enjoying it. It's a little bit of comic relief. I think Varenus is probably my favorite character. Very stoic, but believes what he believes. Lastly, the ending. Uh, yeah, unfortunate end for Pompeii there. Didn't see it coming. That was great, but I think whoever that guy was that he was talking with who decided that Pompey's been defeated, it's not worth, the heartache to try and host them there because it's just going to lead to problems. They'll have to deal with Rome angered at them for doing that, so it was decided just get rid of him then and there. Unfortunate end, but there's nothing really you can do. He was defeated and he wasn't going to be coming back after this point, so yeah, that's how it ended for him. I'm glad, Varenus didn't have to do it because he respected him too much, but yeah, excellent episode. Best of the season so far. Really enjoying things. I think Sevilla initially intended to manipulate her for what information she could, and the romantic aspect of it just kind of came about naturally. Octavia just kind of was taken with her and how kind she's been to her, and that's why that situation developed as it did so fast. But yeah, just great overall. Loving the main story, loving the side stories, and yeah, no complaints at all. Just enjoying every episode. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got. So as always, thanks for watching and peace.